In the early days with the recession, it was a case of liquidity and finance and how can we get through this. Our customers are disappearing, customers that are left are not very viable, there could be bad debts, etc. So it's a case of how we manage that. So it was looking at investment to help their cash flow. Now it's a case of, well, what can we do opportunity-wise in research and development, look at new products, look at how we can place those in the marketplace and sort of transfer the knowledge into the business.
Nuclear and media are the key issues at the moment in this part of the world. Also, I think the professional community supporting those industries can prosper. What Manchester has, and it's already been touched on, is tradition, and what brings tradition is experience and robustness.
The level of activity which I'm seeing probably in the last 6 months around Greater Manchester is leading the way right the way across the region. And things are going to take a while to get back to historic levels of business, but there are some fantastic businesses out there that are now well placed to move forward.
The prospects for Manchester recovering growth and we've done some initial research, this is really kind of initial research, is that it will regain its employment quicker than most other UK cities because of its scale and its breadth across a range of things, and I think that's a really positive position for Manchester to be in, more so than some other cities in the UK.
The reality is that the cash-rich companies are the companies that are re-employing people and are expanding, and they will take up the slack.
They're the ones that the cash-rich are ones that are going to be sort of leading the recovery.
And the larger picture, in my view, is that we should be supporting established, stronger businesses, or the perceived stronger businesses, rather than a one-size-fits-all solution.
We're certainly beginning to see an increase in the level of sort of acquisition deals. I'm talking at the sort of sub-10 million enterprise value, where the first half of 2009 was relatively flat.
The larger deals that happened, and we were doing some large deals out of Manchester, were very much supported by banks and acquisition finance, which acquisition finance is not there as much as it used to be. So it is the smaller size equity finance deals where the banks don't necessarily need to get involved, which we're seeing happening more and more. And again, that's often led by strong entrepreneurial individuals that have pulled together management teams or other investors to lead those.
The leadership and the management is key to certainly success in the future and sort of growth and innovation and so on, isn't it? What sort of examples and what do you find in terms of how important that is, Steve?
Well, it's very important, both innovation and leadership and management, and it's actually there is public funding again through the North West Development Agency and others going into both of those areas. So for example, there are mentoring programs out at the moment, which is very useful because you're getting people obviously to share their experience. There's leadership and management programs which is aimed obviously at the leaders and management levels of businesses. And obviously innovation, because innovation is really important for the future of any business and obviously for the economy of the northwest of England.
When we've hit what we've hit in the last sort of 15 months or so, you're really finding out who are the good leaders and those who aren't. And as you say, it's the leadership as much as anything. You can sustain a dip in sales, you can sustain a dip in margins even. Obviously, different combinations of those will bring different problems, but ultimately it's down to the decision making at the top.
When our money goes in, it is going in with management support as well, be it whether it's in the form of grants or whether in forthcoming venture capital funding, you will see that necessarily alongside it, whereas I think in the previous boom that we've had, there's been maybe a little bit more money first and a focus on other things too late in the game.
We're getting a lot more organisations looking at being proactive rather than reactive. So they're looking outside and saying, well, what's happening with legislation? What's happening with the economy? What's happening with new product developments? And looking at like the nuclear industry, etc. So there are organisations that are, as you say, welcoming in business support and saying, right, how can I take my business forward? What are the opportunities? And in any recession, as we said, there are opportunities. So they are tapping into all the support services that the North West Development Agency have.